All right, so I ended up continuing through this other one, did a couple more, and I noticed that they do give a different type of question. So I'm back with part 2 of the IXL um, milestone study practice. And it says write this as a decimal. So I have 6 should be in the tens place on this one. So 6 in the tens place plus 2400. I don't know why that keeps happening. And 8,000. So if 6 is in the tens place, I have to have a 0 right here. So it's going to be 60 and 248 thousandths is what that should look like. Right, and then back to these type of questions. 923 and 54 hundredths. So 92 and 3 makes 923. 5 tenths and 400. So this would be it. 900ths. 23 1. So there's 923. 5 tenths, 4 hundredths. This would be it as well. Then this one says 900ths, 2 tens, and 3 ones. So that would be 923 plus 54 thousandths. This would not be it because it should be 54 hundredths. So therefore, just 2 of them. And then this one says write as a decimal. So I'll do one more of these and then that'll be it for this one. So 62 ones. So that's going to be 62 ones. And then 5 tenths and 114,000. So I need to add that 114,000 because if I do this, then that'll be too much. That'll be 114, 10,000. So I can't have that. So therefore, I need to add one of those thousandths to that. I need to add it to that 5. So that 5 tenths is going to end up being 6 tenths. And then 14. So that's 614 thousandths. So that should be 62 and 614 thousandths. Adding a group of 10 to the 5, making it a 6. Then I still have my 14. So that should be it. Yep. And I'll do one more. 8 tens plus 9 ones plus 6 hundredths plus 1,000th. So 8 tens and 9 ones would be 89. I'll just do that. 89. And then my decimal comes next. And I don't have anything showing in the tenths place, but I have the hundreds represented and the thousandths represented. So there's a 0 in the tenths place, 6 in the hundredths place, and a 1 in the thousandths place. So that would be 89 and 61 thousandths. All right, so that's it for that one. Now let me go to my other next skill, which would be rounding decimals right here. All right, what is 8 and 628 thousandths rounded to the nearest hundredths? So I'll write this number out. 8 and 628 rounded to the nearest hundredth. First thing I need to do is find a number in the hundredths place. The 2 is in the hundredths place. So then I'm going to look over to the right of that to find out whether that 2 is going to soar or whether it's going to stay a 2. So the 8 tells my 2 to soar. Remember the rhyme that we taught you, 5 or more, you're going to let it soar. 4 or less, you're going to let it rest. So 5 or more, if this number here is a 5 or more, then my 2 is going to soar. It's going to go up. If this number here is 4 or less, then my 2 is going to stay a 2. So since it's an 8, that's 5 or more. 8 is bigger than 5. So that means my 2 is going to go up. So everything before the place I'm rounded to stays the same. So I'm going to have 8 still. I'm going to have my decimal still. I'm going to have my 6 still there. And then my 2 is going to turn to a 3. Then my 8, everything after the place you're running to turns to a 0. So the 8 would turn to a 0. And so since I'm dealing with decimals, if I have a 0 after that last place number represented, then that decimal, that 0 doesn't even have to be there. So my answer would just be 8 and 63 hundredths. Next one is 2 and 6 tenths rounded to the nearest whole number. This is my whole number, so I'm going to look over here to my 6. 6 is going to tell the 2 to soar because the 6 is bigger than 5. So it's my next. If I round this 2 and 6 tenths to the nearest whole number, then my answer would just be 3. Don't have to have the 0 or the decimal because this is going to turn to a 0 and I'm rounding to the whole number. Next one, 0 and 27 hundredths, rounded to the nearest whole number. So 0 and 27 hundredths, rounded to the nearest whole. There is no whole over here, have 0. And if I look to the 2, it's telling the 0 to stay. So basically, my answer would be 0. I'm not rounding it up. Wait, yep, I'm not going to round it up. If I look to 27, though, yeah, never mind. It's just going to be 0. 1 and 94 hundredths. You know what? I should have went to a harder level. I'll do it after this one. 1 and 94 hundredths rounded to the nearest tenth. 9 is in the tenths place. 4 is going to tell that 9 to rest because this 4 is 4 or less. Remember, let it rest. So it's going to be 1 and 9 tenths. 1 and 9 tenths. And I'm going to go to another level. So I have 34 and 2 tenths. And they want me to round it to the nearest whole. So this is my whole number. My 2 is what I'm going to look to. So it's going to tell the 34 to stay 34. And then I have 80 and 99 hundredths, telling me to round to the nearest tenth. So I have a 9 in the tenths place. So I'm going to look to this 9. This 9 is going to tell that 9 to soar. So I'm going to have to go up. But if I go up, I'm going to have to regroup. So that's going to have to come over here. So it's basically going to be 81. This 0 is what's going up. The number right beside this. I'm regrouping here. So that's 81 is my answer. And then I'll do one more. Going to be 25 and 697 thousandths rounded to the nearest hundredth. So this is in the hundredths place by 9. So I'm going to look to my 7. The 7 is going to tell the 9 to soar. So just like the last one, I'm going to have to regroup and bring that over here. So this is going to actually go up. So my 6 is going to go up to a 7. This, everything else before it still is going to be there. So I'm going to have 25 and 7 tenths as my answer. because this would turn to a 0. Everything after it would turn to a 0. And that is it for that skill for rounding. I think that should be pretty simple. And then the next one is compare and order decimals. It says, which sign makes the statement true? 2 3/10 is what to 2 4/10? Well, if I'm rounding comparing decimals, I know my 2 and 2, they're both the same so far. Then I look at my tenths place to see which number is bigger, and the 4 is bigger than the 3. So that means 2 3/10 is less than 2 4/10. So this big part is opened up to the big number. So if I had to write it in, it would be
which
that
sign makes the statement true?
2 3/10 is less than 2 4/10, just so you can see. All right. And that next one is which makes the statement true, which sign makes it true. I have 2 over here and a 1 over here, so I automatically know this 2 2/10 is going to be bigger than 1 5/10. So my sign is going to open up to this side. Okay, let's go to a harder level. Which sign makes the statement true? I have 5 and I have 5 and 0 and 0, and then I have a 9 over here and an 8 over here. So this number is going to be bigger. So my sign is going to point to this number. Okay, go to a harder level. Which sign makes a statement true? I have 21 over here and I have 27 over here. So I know 27 is bigger than 21. So that one is there. So this is not very hard, as you can see. Same for here. Comparing decimals, you look at the first number that's different. 7 is here and 8 is here. So 7 is smaller. So it's going to be going that way. And let's go to a harder level. I'm on level 4 out of 5. So the hardest level is here. Do a couple of these and then that should be it. It says select all the digits that make this sentence true. Okay, this is one that makes you think. So if I had, they want to know which digit can I put here to make what they already have true. So they have that this number over here is less than this number over here. So everything so far is the same in these numbers, except I don't have anything here. So I need this number to be less than this number. So for it to be less than that means this blank digit has to be greater than 2. So all of them that have something higher than 2 can go here to make this statement true. So if I had an 8 there, then that means that would be true. This number would be less than this number. If I had that's it. That's all I can have is an 8. Everything else would not make it true. Okay. Select all the digits that make this sentence true. I have so far they want these numbers to equal each other. So that means I need to have a 3 here in order for this to equal this. And that's the only thing I can have there to make it true. And it says which sentence is false. So this one says 9,798 and 100 thousandths is equal to 9,798 and 7/10. But that would not be true. So which sentence is false? This is false. Let's see. Let's look at the other ones. This says 1,757 and 8/10 is greater than 1,757. And this is not true because this number right here would be less than this because I don't have anything here. So that means this number is basically just 1,757. This number is 1,757 and 8/10. So that means, wait. No, sorry. This number is because this 8 is here and this 0 is here, then this number is bigger. Even though it goes into a fraction, this makes it a little bit more. I have a little bit more here than I do here. So this is not false. This is true. This is greater than this. Then this one says 7 and 189 thousandths is less than 7,911 and 87 hundredths. Well, this number is bigger than this number. So they're saying that this number is less than this. That is true. So I won't select that one because I'm selecting the ones that are false. And this says that these two numbers are equal. And that is true because these are the exact same numbers. So that one would not be false. So this is the only one that's false. Okay, got that one. Doesn't get any harder, so I'll just go ahead and do this one. Which sign makes the statement true again? So 120 is greater than 91. So 120 and 2/10 is greater than 91 hundredths. Than 91, basically. So that's that, and that is it for that skill. So let's go to the next skill. Put decimal numbers in order. From least to, this one says put these numbers in order from greatest to least. So I'm starting with the biggest one, going down to the smallest one. The biggest one is 4 and 7. What am I doing? Do I drag them? Oh, okay, yeah. So 4 and 7/10 will be the biggest. 3 and 6/10 will be the next. 3 and 5/10 will be the next. So they're in order now, from greatest to least. Okay, this one says put these in order from least to greatest. So the least of these would be this one. The next would be this one. Then this one. Then this one. And then this one will be the greatest. So that should be it. And now let's go to a harder level. Put these in order from greatest to least. Greatest would be this one because it has a whole number. The rest of them don't have a whole number, so I know this one is bigger. And then it's going to be this one because it has a 5 in the 10th place. Then this one has a 4 in the 10th place. This one has a 1 in the 10th place. So this is it. Let's go harder. 3 out of 5. Put these in order from greatest to least. Greatest would be this one. The next one would be this one because I have a 7. All these have a 6 in the 1's place. So I look to the 10th place. This one has a 7 and the rest of them have a 5. So this one is the next biggest. And they all have a 5 in the 10th. So now I look to the 100th place. This one has a 2. This has a 6. This one has a 2. So this is the next biggest. And then the 2 and then the 2. So they're both the same so far. So now I need to go to the 100th place, the 1000th place to look. And this has a 5 in the 1000th place, and this has nothing. So that's a 0. So this one would be bigger than this one. So this is the order from greatest to least. Okay, let's go to the next harder level. 4 out of 5. So it gets a little bit harder than this. So we have least to greatest. So the least out of these, they all have, all these, I know this is going to be the biggest because it has 58 as a whole number. And the rest of these have 57 as a whole number. So now I need to see which one of these would be the smallest. So I have 57, and then I have a 5 and a 5 and a 0 and a 2. So the 0 is going to be the least. So even though this number has the most digits, it's still the smallest number because it has a 0 in the 10th place. And the rest of them have a number greater than 0 in the 10th place. This one has a number 2 in the tens place, so this is going to be the next smallest. And then this has a 5 and this has a 5, but then this has an 8 in the hundreds and this has nothing in the hundreds. So this is going to be the next smallest. So this should be my order from least to greatest. All right, and let's go to the next level. So I have 2, and then it says least to greatest. So this is the smallest because it has a 2 in the ones place, and the rest of them have double digit numbers in the ones place. So I know this is my smallest number. Then the next smallest would be the 28, and then the 29, and then 32, and then 92 is the greatest. So that one was pretty simple. All right, as you can see, this is not a hard skill, putting them in order from least to greatest. Main thing is you first check out your whole numbers, see which one has the whatever they're asking for. So in this case, they're asking for the least. Which one of these whole numbers is the least one? Is going to be 3. So that's going to be the smallest. Then I'll look at the next smallest whole number, which is a 6 right here. Then the next smallest whole number is going to be 69. The next smallest whole number is going to be 95 and then 96. So this one was very simple because all I had to do was look at my whole numbers. And then I have my answer. And that skill is pretty simple. So let's go to, that'll be it for this video. Then I'll come to, you know what, since this one is dealing with decimals too. No, I'll do this separate.